Hello, 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 and good evening. Okay. Make sure everything is up and running and going right. Let me take a peek behind me. Did you see that, sister? Which one? Let me check. Oh, I've got notifications here. A finished mini. It is pink and white, or pink and white and silver. See the back of it. Sight. Very pink hair. That looks pretty cool. I like that. The grim darkness of the future, there's only more. Sometimes you put on your best pink armor to brighten things up. Exactly. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. Looks nice. Sorry, I guess I missed that notification. I've been so busy at work, it's been ridiculous. But yes, it looks very nice. So I will definitely take a closer look at that after we're done for the night. I'm not going to be on here too terribly long because I'm starting at 10 o'clock, which is the time that I normally finish on a Friday when I'm normally not streaming. So working on a Sailor Moon thing, that's pretty cool. I obviously wasn't ever like super big into Sailor Moon, so I don't know which sailor that would be. I mean, probably the sailor I'm most familiar with is Jerry. But none of that tonight. Just McDonald's Dr. Pepper. But yeah, I'm just the place I work for opened up a brand new warehouse. We just started operating out of the new warehouse. Yeah, it is a very late stream for me. And in true new building fashion, all sorts of things are going wrong. So it's been very difficult dealing with all the confusion and dumb. What is your camera set up? Because mine sucks. Oh, I recently upgraded my face cam. It is an Insta360 something or other. Nope, that's different. Insta360 Link 2C is the face cam, and my overhead camera up here is my cell phone. Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, I think. So that's what I've got. I mean, it's, I used to use a cheap webcam. What is this? No, not necessarily cheap webcam. Logitech C920. I used this webcam forever. I actually intended to keep using this webcam until I got the Insta360, which let me stream my video both to TikTok and OBS at the same time. Yours has zooming issues. I don't know. Like when you try and zoom in with it, or it just doesn't autofocus very well. Because sometimes autofocus when you try and zoom in on something causes problems. It gets a little wonky, especially depending on the camera. Autofocusing, yeah, like, because like I can, where's it at? Make sure that stupid watermark isn't on. Somewhere in here. There you go. All right, so I can zoom in with the cell phone camera, but it just uses one of the telephoto lenses on the back of the S23 Ultra. So I mean, I can zoom in like super far, and supposedly that's in focus, but it gets really grainy. But yeah, just cell phone camera. And then the thanks for the likes, McCrag, appreciate it. But the Link camera, it does all sorts of like weird stuff. It goes into like different zoom modes with hand gestures. I don't know how to get it to work most of the time, but I don't use them. There's like an auto tracking feature. I think if you do this, it goes into auto tracking, but I've got it zoomed all the way out, so it shouldn't really do anything. Just watching a little green light blink at the top of the camera. Anyway, but yeah, Link. Oh my God, I am so tired. I cannot talk tonight. I probably shouldn't even be painting. Is a Insta360 Link 2C, not the super fancy one with the gimbal, but that is my face cam, and my cell phone is my overhead cam looking down on my desk, and then just tons of lights everywhere so I can see what I'm doing. So I mean, it might be like, I don't know what kind of camera you're using, Complicated Gaming, but it's like a lot of those, I don't know if it's with OBS or just the camera settings, how you have it linked to your computer, just the default settings, you might be able to go in there. Typically what I do, and I don't know if you're talking about a face cam or an overhead cam, I'll turn autofocus off and manually set the focus for whatever depth I work with. Unless it's, you know, a better camera. Like the cell phone camera, it just autofocuses all the time, no matter where it is. Same thing with the face cam. It just snaps into autofocus real quick. So no, it might, if it's an older camera, that's probably the issue. But there's, you know, tons of webcams out there that don't cost that much that work great, and you just turn off the autofocus feature and at your set distance, and it always stays in focus. How did the last live go? Pretty good. I got most of these leg panels done. I think I got the shin guards done, the decals on the shins or on the knee pads, and then I'm almost done with the ones that go over the tops of the hips, and then I've got the ones that go on the sides. And basically, I'm going live long enough to get the hip armor finished up, just so I can have the legs complete. But like I said, I'm starting like super late tonight. I never go live this late, and I'm usually not streaming on a Saturday, but or Saturday. God. See, this is how tired I am. Usually don't go live on a Friday, but last night we're spending some family time with the kids. Of course, I say kids. My kids are, you know, 20 years old. And my youngest, he's 19. He's almost 20. Had snapped off his gear shifter in his truck, and so I helped him replace that. So we kind of took the night off of painting for auto repair. So tonight I'm going to get these couple pieces finished up. I'm going to start off with getting this book painted. Oh, it's kind of hard to see, but it was a cool little bit that was in the combat patrol on one of the upgrade sprues. It was like, this is a Black Templar dreadnought, so fancy little thing to add on there, so we're gonna add it on there. Now let me get the main part of the legs out of the way so I don't actually drop paint on them or something and mess them up, because that would really irritate me. And we're going to start off with some Mournfang Brown, keeping with the old theme of the army that we're going, that I use on all my leather bits and whatnot on my Templars. So the scabbards, the belts, all that. We start off with some Mournfang Brown as our base color. And shouldn't need a whole lot because it's just the front cover of the book. That's what you use for your leather? Yeah, I mean, I followed along with a Duncan Rhodes How to Paint Black Templars video. And these are the colors that he used on his minis. I love the look of them when I watched the YouTube video on how to do them, and so I just use the same colors and then go back and do the edge highlighting with Scrag Brown and a little bit of weathering with it. Looks so good. Really makes the leather look good. So I'll do the Mournfang Brown. I'll do a little bit of Agrax Earthshade wash on it, and then edge highlight with the Scrag Brown, and that is what I do for my leather. Have a good night, McCraig. Sorry I got started so late. I know it's kind of messes people up when I don't stick to my normal schedule. But unfortunately, things happen. And I got up like ridiculously early this morning to try and avoid an issue at work. And when I got to work, it ended up not being an issue, which was super frustrating. It's like, okay, I woke up an hour and got to work an hour early to avoid this issue, and it ended up not even being an issue. I was a little cranky because it'd been an issue all week. So, but it is what it is. I made it through my day. I survived. Everything's fine. A little bit too much water in there. Try and spread that around a little bit so it dries a little faster. But yeah, like I was saying, I saw this in the Combat Patrol upgrade sprue and kept trying to figure out what mini I wanted to stick it on, and it didn't seem like it would work on the Marshal. It didn't seem like it would work for like the Intercessors. Hey Spoon, how's it going? Actually catching me live for once. I'm actually up late enough for you to catch me live. I'm up past my bedtime tonight. like just getting started when I'm normally logging off to go to bed. But I want to get these couple of armor pieces done for the legs so I can officially have the legs finished for this dreadnought. Because it's like I got so close the other night and was just exhausted, ran out of time Tuesday night. Like, oh, I'll finish it on Thursday, and then, you know, ended up doing automotive repair with my child Thursday night. So we're going live for a little while tonight, just trying to finish up these two little pieces. Yes, it is. You had to spend time with the childrens. Even though, like, he bought the part, brought it over, and, you know, sat there watching me fix it for him. But it's all good. But, I mean, the funny thing is his brother actually went to tech school to be a mechanic. I'm pretty sure he's ASE certified. But, you know, we're just going to have Dad fix it, not have brother do it. I mean, granted, I was a mechanic many moons ago, and now I just deliver car parts. But yeah, it's always a good time to spend with the kid, you know, showing him something new. Of course, now on top of that, he's bought a broken motorcycle because I've been teaching him how to ride a motorcycle. And I'm probably going to end up having to fix his motorcycle too. But good times. Need my old man glasses on to see what I'm doing. Oh, Transcendent, thank you for whatever those are. TikTok emblems, fingers, roses. Thank you for all the gifts. I appreciate it. Sent perfume. Thank you so much. And a donut. See, I actually found the little box that tells me what people are sending. So now I can say thank you for everything that you send. It looks like some sort of friendship bracelet thingy. I don't know what those are. I don't know what they do. But thank you so much for sharing those on TikTok. I just have to make sure I say where people are, you know, commenting from, because I am live on Twitch and YouTube as well. If you're watching me on TikTok in full screen mode, the I don't know, web address, whatever you call, is scrolling across the bottom of the screen on TikTok. So if you do want to run over and follow me on Twitch, there's also a permanent link to a Discord over there, to where you can join the Discord and share projects that you're working on, or just ask general questions. Speaking of Twitch, I need to get over there on the About Me page and update like all my hardware information, because all of that's changed. Like everything on there is from my old computer that died a while back, my old webcam, and I don't even know if my webcam was on there, but yeah, all super old stuff that is irrelevant now, that needs to be updated. I got my paint like super thin, so it's taking me a few coats to get this covered. which is fine because it's going on super smooth, which is nice. Always a plus when you get smooth paint application. Makes your minis look a little bit better, but just makes your painting take a little longer. It's like almost airbrush thin, and I don't have an airbrush. But just keep dotting a little super watery paint on and smoothing it around and letting it dry. A little bit more here, a little bit more there. Fortunately, it dries fairly quickly, so no big issues with it. I think that's about got it for the cover of the book. Just let that dry as we move on to our next color, which I'm gonna have to rinse my brush out and grab a different one because I'm about to use a metallic, and I don't paint metallics with my acrylic brushes. But at the same time, I rinse everything in the same water pot, so it probably doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Thank you for sharing the live, Meg. Much appreciated. Anything you can do to help more people find this. Always enjoy having more viewers, more people to talk to. Any questions you all have that I might be able to answer, go ahead and ask. Probably the biggest one I usually get is, do I play the tabletop? And not currently in any real fashion, but I am hoping to get back into the tabletop. Are you using a webcam? Oh, asking Complicated Gaming. I don't know if Complicated Gaming said what kind of camera setup he had. Yeah, Spoon's also a good resource for streaming and painting information, as he streams to Twitch as well. I don't think I've seen him live on TikTok though. Spoon used to be on TikTok, and then he abandoned us. Always notorious with aircams, crappy AutoZone, best to disable it. Yeah. Very similar advice as to what I suggested. Yeah, it was my Logitech C90 or C920, whatever that stupid thing is. You're back on TikTok, but I don't live to it. Anytime I try to do anything, it says I can't because I don't have enough followers. If you use the PC version of TikTok Studio, that's how I started going live on TikTok, and at some point along the way it decided to give me access on my phone, so now I can go live anywhere. And I still don't have the required number of viewers or followers. Oh, that's wrong. Boo, TikTok. Let Spoon go live. So people can see him drink water and eat gummy bears. And all that good stuff. I really need to get like viewer rewards set up. I just don't know how to do it and haven't taken the time yet. It'll happen one of these days, I'm sure. If I ever end up with any free time, which I never seem to have. I'm just trying to stream painting to a friend in Discord. Discord also sucks. I will say probably the best way that I've found to go live is like OBS through Twitch and YouTube. I just do it on TikTok because, you know, somehow I managed to get access to go live on TikTok through their computer program, and, you know, tell people on TikTok, oh, hey, I've got this Twitch over here. If you want to check it out, follow me on Twitch, join the Discord, share what you're working on, share some memes. There's different pages for all that kind of stuff. So just hop on in over there and have a good time. But we did a little Balthazar gold on, see if I can show this off, on the emblem on the book, and there's like these binding rings on it. And now I'm going to start working on the cage around the book. I'm sure this is like the Templar Wi-Fi passwords that the Dreadnought carries around with him. Yeah. Once I figure out how to use OBS, I wish there was a stream key that would let me go live on Twitch through OBS, because everything just looks so much better, and I can do scene transitions and all sorts of other stuff. And like if I have to go AFK for something, I just change the screen real quick, mutes my microphone. OBS is amazing. I'm always worried about how it sounds on TikTok, because I can't, you know, I can't record a short clip and then watch it back. TikTok doesn't seem to let you do that. So it's like, is my music too loud? Is it not loud enough? Is my voice clear? I have no idea what's going on. I know on Twitch and YouTube I sound fine, because I can double check all that. That's part of why multi-streaming on TikTok seems like too much of a headache. Yeah. Hey, dream big, build small. How's it going tonight? Thank you for the likes. Very much appreciate it. And just trying to get these two little hip armor pieces done on my Dreadnought, so I can officially say the legs are done. I got really close the other night and it got late and I had to stop streaming, so I'm trying to get these done. It's my teeny tiny paintbrushes. Pretty good, just surfing lives when I should be sleeping. That's me pretty much every night. Like, my wife's ready to curl up and go to bed, and I'm still scrolling through TikToks, looking at what minis everybody else is painting. Like, oh, that'd be cool sometime. But I have my pile of gray that I need to get work through. I got Grimaldus sitting in a box behind me. I've got a box of Sword Brethren sitting behind me. I still haven't finished my Combat Patrol, mostly because I really wanted to paint this Dreadnought, because the Brutalis Dreadnought is a super cool looking mini. A diorama artist and model builders dabbles in tabletop games. I like the tabletop gaming aspect of it, but I'm one of those people that's like, oh, I really want to play the tabletop, and then I lose every single game I play, and I'm like, oh, this is stupid. I don't want to do the tabletop anymore. I'm just going to paint the minis. But that's because, all of my minis that I already have painted are like 15-year-old Necrons. So it's all the old sculpts, and they're kind of boring. So anyway, Benjamin Seegers 5, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. All right, I just paint what I think looks cool. Yeah, that's one of the best things you can do, is whatever you find that you think looks cool. I mean, that's how I ended up on Templars. I like looking through the different minis and sculpts of everything, and Templars just had a ton of like really cool looking models. Like Grimaldus is super cool. The Sword Brethren are super cool. It's like I had to do those. Spoon Handle could possibly use OBS virtual camera desired layout as source for TikTok. I'm playing with the live studio software now. Yeah, that was one of the issues I ran into when I first started going live on TikTok, and I'm a streaming noob for the most part, so I didn't know how to set up a virtual camera, and the Insta360 Link 2C basically does it automatically for you, so you can use the same webcam in every program. It's super nice, and I don't have to think about it. And now I have a single camera that I use for Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. Orcs are your favorite so far. So much variation. Oh yeah, there's tons and tons of orc minis, and some of them are interesting and a lot of fun to look at. Was it the Gorkanauts and Morkanauts, Gazgul? All of them are like really neat minis. Was it a Big Mech Choppa or something like that? That looks like a, irritated mechanic with a red ball cap on. Just leading his own little wah across the galaxy. But I mean, even because I played during 5th edition, and when I quit playing shortly after I quit playing, Necrons got a ton of brand new sculpts, which irritated me because I couldn't afford them anymore due to occupational changes. And so they got all these really neat new models, and I couldn't buy any of them. And then, just life continued to happen, and never made my way back to the hobby until Space Marine 2 came out. And I'm like having so much fun playing the video game I was like, oh, I've got to, you know, get some more minis and paint some more minis, and finally in a place in life where I can afford to do that again, which I'm very thankful for. And you know, thankful that the missus lets me indulge in my ridiculous hobbies. Hey, Berserker Empire, it's going all right. Just doing a very odd stream or odd live. This is not usually a time that I am sitting down and painting. So I'm probably catching a lot of people off guard if they've followed me for a little while. Usually it's just Tuesdays and Thursday nights, but I really wanted to get these armor pieces done for the legs of the Dreadnought, so I can get them glued on and be finished with them. And then I can start on the rest of the fun, really cool parts, like the sarcophagus, which has been sitting on my desk, you know, partially base coated for like 2 weeks now. But yeah, definitely need to get these couple of pieces done so I can move on to the rest of the mini. Since they updated the requirements since I last tried, only 100 followers on TikTok to go live now. Oh, maybe that's why I was able to start going live on TikTok. I'm not going to complain about it. Just finished your biggest miniature for orcs called Stomper. You doing great. Some of the Stompas are cool. It's like all orc mechs are cool. I'm sorry. The Morkanauts, the Gorkanauts, I don't know what they're called. They look like little trash cans. They're ridiculous. Maybe that's a Stompa. I don't know. I need to get more familiar with other faction vehicles. But yeah, they used to have this little thing. It looks like it looks like a trash can with arms and legs. It's hilarious, and it just like runs around with giant saw blades and flamethrowers and guns and stuff sticking out the sides of it. But that's why orcs are so much fun. Just the ridiculousness of them. I would love to do an orc army, but I just don't want to paint that many models. That takes killicans. Yes, those things. They're hilarious. It looks like a trash can that's just running across the battlefield trying to get in a fight with something. But yeah, like any type of horde army. I think they're all like really neat, really cool armies. But that is some extreme level of dedication to play a horde army. Just the amount of minis that you have to paint. All right. Looks like we got a majority of that done. I'm going to do a couple little quick paint touch-ups where my hand slipped a little bit, and then we're going to do a couple of washes, some Nuln Oil on the cover of the book, or not Nuln Oil, Agrax Earthshade on the cover of the book, and then Nuln Oil on the metal bits. But there's a couple of spots of brown that need touched up. I got a little bit more paint on than I intended to. We're just gonna fix those couple little spots real quick. Make sure I'm actually getting paint on my brush, because that always helps. You can't paint anything if you don't actually have paint on your brush. And I know, like, these couple little spots that I'm touching up are going to get covered up by a wash, and you're never going to notice. But that's just how I do minis. Okay. Let's do some washes. Here's the Earthshade. And of course, when you do some washes, it's going to take a little while to do, because I have to do one wash, let it dry, and then go back and do the other wash and let it dry. So I'll probably go back to this piece and start on my edge highlighting while the Agrax Earthshade dries on this one. So just get some of the Agrax. And just all across the leather parts of the book here. Make sure you're getting it to flow down into all the little cracks and everything. That way you get a good contrast on everything. Then we'll come back in and very carefully do some edge highlighting around the edges of the book. But washes are incredible things. It is liquid talent in a paint pot. Definitely recommend using your washes. Alright, Berserker, have a good night. You stay safe as well. Thanks for stopping in. Trying to keep up with all the chats on various platforms. Twitch is the easiest because I have it set up to ding in my headset when somebody says something. So hardly ever miss anybody on Twitch. But TikTok, I don't have that option, or if there is a way to do that, I don't know how to do it. Okay, set that there. Set that there. Otherwise, I misplace my paint and spend 5 minutes looking for the paint pot that I just had. Always put stuff back immediately after you use it. Otherwise, you will forget where you set it down. And even though it's in this, confined 1 square foot of area on your desk, you won't be able to find it. It's amazing how that works. Alrighty. Get some Dark Reaper for our first edge highlight. And I know you're supposed to use the back of your brush to dab some of the paint out onto your wet palette. Yada yada. I do what I want. I'm an adult. Or at least I play one on TV. Or online, I guess I should say, because who watches TV anymore? Get that thinned out. Take some excess out the brush. Just working our way around the edges of these armor panels, going a little bit thicker and wider with the Dark Reaper, because we will do a second round of edge highlighting. with, was it Dawnstone? I don't know what it is about the, I guess it's the heavy metal painting style that's on all the box art. I really like it, so that's the painting style that I tend to use on my minis. I know it's not for everybody. Like, some people don't like the way some of my minis have come out. They're like, oh, they're too clean. They're supposed to be grimdark and dirty and grungy, and like, did you paint them? No, I did. I painted them how I wanted to, and I like the way they turned out. But that is the style that I enjoy, and that is the style I paint my minis, and will continue to do so. But like I said, to each their own. As long as the way your mini comes out when you're done, if you're happy with it, then you're successful. And if you do pink Hello Kitty Space Marines, not something I would want to spend my time doing, but if that's how you want to paint your minis and that makes you happy, more power to you. Edge highlighting is so tedious. It's one of those things where it's like, I wish I knew a good way to speed this up, but it does not. I suppose, you could do dry brushing. Just kind of lightly hit the edges with the dry brush, and maybe that would make it go a little bit quicker. Be very careful I don't get any paint on these Crusade seals, because they are finished. I just need to quickly grab all the edges around them. As I try and make sure I keep this in frame so everybody can see what I'm working on. Now it's a little bit harder, especially when I flip this thing upside down. And then the pill bottle gets in the way. Pill bottles and sticky tack, amazing for painting like little armor pieces that you attach as you go. Or guns or anything else. I guess I should say pew-pews. I don't know if I'm allowed to say the G word on TikTok without getting community guidelines violation. But, I mean, shouldn't be anything new to me. I'm a walking HR violation. So, yeah, it happens. Sorry, this is one of those times I'm being very, very careful and can't talk and paint at the same time. Tiny details. Maximum concentration. That you can't really see on camera because there's not enough of a color difference yet. But we'll get there with our second edge highlight. Almost done. There we go. Minus this little spot back here. And see, this is why sticky tack is so amazing. You just kind of pull it up and off to an angle like that. It's still very much stuck to the top of the pill bottle. But I can get to this edge that was pushed down on the pill bottle. So, little tips and tricks along the way. All right. Looks like the Agrax has dried. So now we need to carefully do some Nuln Oil. Set that brush off to the side. Get the Nuln Oil out without dumping it all over my desk. Just very carefully all along these edges here to start with. And across the tops of these bands. That paint's looking like tar. What, the Nuln Oil? Or the paint in the wet palette? Because that kind of ends up looking like tar too. Nuln Oil, yeah. And I think this is an original bottle of Nuln Oil that I had like 15 years ago, and somehow it's still liquid and still works. So maybe it's not as liquid as it should be. I don't know, but I'm gonna keep using it. But it's one of those things, like I said, you might use Nuln Oil a little too much. Yeah. Splash that shit on everything. There are some, like my Impulsor, I splashed a bunch of Nuln Oil on it, and I wish I hadn't. But it is what it is. I was trying to do some light weathering and make it look a little grungy, and it just didn't come out the way I wanted it to. But it is what it is. I still like the way my Impulsor turned out. Oh, TikTok, you stupid thing. Like, I'm sitting here telling a story on TikTok, and TikTok's like, oh, you must have disappeared. No, I'm still moving and talking on screen. Anyway, the Impulsor, something I notice helps keep takes them off using makeup sponges. Yeah, most of the time, the way it pools and stuff, I like how it pools around like little details and helps make them more obvious and brings them out. It's just, well, my wife doesn't wear a lot of makeup, so she doesn't have any makeup sponges to steal. So I would have to go buy my own if I wanted to use them. But let me go grab the impulsor real quick and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But it's like, I was trying to do some weathering, trying to grunge it up, and it just wasn't doing what I wanted it to do. Now my model just looks dirty. And not like, you know, battle grunge or whatever. It just looks like nobody washed it. But it is what it is. I'm still very happy with how it turned out. I know they're supposed to look dirty, but I kind of like the clean look. I'm still very happy with, you know, how everything turned out on this thing. So I'm not going to strip it and repaint it, but it didn't end up with my desired effect. Like, see, like that kind of dirty grunginess, I like how that turned out, the decking in the back of the impulsor, but I don't know. Like I said, I still like it. I still think I did a really good job on this, and it's probably the first mini I painted in like 15 years, so I'm not or first Warhammer mini in 15 years, so I'm not upset about how it turned out. Like, so many cool little details on this thing. I'm not looking forward to assembling and painting a second one, but I'm going to need it for my army eventually. Yeah, I'm going to have to do a whole second combat patrol. Well, not a whole second one, but I need the other impulsor. I need the... Maybe it'd be cheaper just to buy a second impulsor and a Crusader squad, because I don't really need the intercessors and I don't need a marshal. When you build something big like that dreadnought, is it better to paint and put it together? It all depends on what you want to do, Yarasu. The way I do my painting, I do a lot of sub-assembly, just because there's tons of little details that I can't get to and paint when the mini's completely put together. So, like, if this is all glued together, you know, I wouldn't have been able to do like all this metallic paint under there. I'd be trying to like wedge a brush into these tight little areas, and granted, you know, a lot of that you're not going to see when the mini's fully assembled. Like even down there, all the gears and pistons and whatnot around the ankle, like you're not going to be able to see a lot of that with everything put together, but it just adds a little bit more depth. What does the waist to body connection site look like? It's just this little pin, and then on the bottom there's just a little hole, and those are supposed to line up somehow as I knock pieces of my mini off. But yeah, see, and then they just kind of like snap together a little bit there. Because I haven't finished painting stuff, and so I haven't glued it on yet. But yeah, all this, you know, dry brushing that gives it that nice metallic finish. I wouldn't be able to get to if the mini was fully assembled. Like I said, it adds a little bit more depth, and I think makes it look more finished. Thank you for the follow, Wyatt Winchester. Do you think an armored? I have no idea. I've never built an armature, so I really couldn't tell you. This is the first dreadnought I've ever done, and the first like big robot thing that I've ever done. My wife won a couple of Chaos Knight War Dogs in a stream giveaway. The armature question, he was asking if the legs from a dreadnought, if this connection point is similar to what's on an armature. I said I've never done one, so I couldn't tell him that. But are the Black Templars your favorite? They are my favorite looking minis. I will say that. So Complicated Gaming, who's watching me over on Twitch, said sort of, but the armature is more like a smooth ball. So probably doesn't have this little point on the top of it. So I'm assuming you could probably shave that down and the parts would connect. Or if it doesn't fit just right, green stuff. Like you can like mold you a little piece that will fit the pieces together, and green stuff gets sticky. You push them together and they'll fuse together. If they don't completely fuse together, you can pop them back apart and put super glue on it. Someone's making a Kick Bash Def Dread, so he's probably using, parts of a dreadnought, parts of an armature, parts of a Def Dread, or printing or making extra armor panels to make it more orky, I'm assuming. But yeah, Black Templars, the armor style, the color, like just the way they made the minis, I thought are some of like the coolest looking, knights in space minis. I love the tabards on them. So I was like, when I saw the Black Templar models, I was like, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Those are the guys I'm painting. I love the way the Grey Knights look. Their models look. But I don't think they've been updated to Primaris size yet. So supposedly they're coming. But we're waiting to see what happens with that. But I'm also excited to see what the new Templar release is going to be. I'm hoping it's some sort of Sword Brother and Terminator armor, or some sort of like special Terminator armor, because I've said this over and over again on stream. I hate like the standard Space Marine Terminator armor. I hate their, well, I love the armor, I hate the helmets because it looks like a mole face. So anybody that's got a Space Marine Terminator with power claws, it looks like a giant armored space mole. I was like, and I can't unsee that. So well, Complicated Gaming, you can love the mole helmets all you want. They're not my style. And I know I can order like 3D resin printed like special helmets, but Grey Knight Termies are the best Termies. Yeah, they are. They look so cool. It's like I would almost buy a pack of Grey Knight Terminators just to get their helmets and then put them, or to paint them as Templar Terminators. Just put some extra bits on them, something, just to have cool looking Templar Termies. Not the Space Mole Termies. Anyway, enough ranting about Terminators. Do you have any recommendations where to start with painting, or is it just up to preference? It 100% it's up to preference. Like some people like to start with larger models, like a vehicle or something, because it's a little bit easier to paint because you're painting larger, wider areas. You can use a spray paint can on them just to get your base color on, so you don't have to worry about brush strokes in your paint, painting large areas. And then you kind of, when you're doing the details, you learn how to thin your paints to cover the details. Other people, like, they'll start off with like different type minis from other tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons miniatures. If you have a 3D printer or know someone with a 3D printer, they can print different little things for you. These are ones the missus and I did for a painting contest at a local game shop. This was the mini, and they're like, okay, now paint it with a pastel color palette. So it's like, those were our best efforts. My wife got third place in the beginner division. I didn't place at all in intermediate. Well, I placed, but I wasn't in the top 3. So she won again. I didn't. But it's all good. We both had fun painting them. But yeah, there's tons of different options. And if you have somebody that's got someone who has some old Warhammer minis in their gray pile of shame that they're not going to paint, and they don't mind you practicing with them, or you're down at your local game store, or if you have a Games Workshop nearby, you can go pick up, like, just, this is one that they hand out to everybody that walks through the door. It's like, oh, here's an Infernus Marine. You can learn how to paint. You can paint it in the store, or you can take it home and paint it. Then on top of that, the first Saturday of every month, the Warhammer store does a mini of the month. This one's from a couple of months ago. I just put it together to see what it looked like, and never finished cleaning it up. Haven't even started painting it yet. But if I ever need a break from my Templars, I have a couple of Eldar to paint, some Skaven from Age of Sigmar. This month's was a Noise Marine Tormentor, not Terminator. Got me thinking about Terminators. But yeah, there's all sorts of, like, if you go the first Saturday of the month, you can pick up, either one of these guys or a Stormcast Eternal from Age of Sigmar, and the mini of the month, whatever mini that is. Like this month was the Emperor's Children Tormentor. Last month was a Kriegsman Engineer. Think World War II trench fighter with gas mask. So yeah, there's lots of ways to get into mini painting. Like I said, it doesn't have to be Warhammer. It could be 3D printing. It could be Dungeons and Dragons. It could be an old board game that you have. One of these days, I'm going to paint the pieces that are in a Labyrinth board game that I got for my wife for Christmas a few years ago. I hadn't gotten back into miniature painting when I got the board game for her, but all the character tokens, it's got like Hoggle and Ludo and Sir Didymus and Jareth, all as tokens in the game, and they're 3D minis. So one of these days I am probably going to sneak those out of the box and paint them for my wife, so she has cool minis to play with when she's playing when we're playing the Labyrinth board game. Is a plan for the future sometime, but right now I'm super focused on getting this Templar army done so I can start playing the tabletop again. I did play a couple of rounds with my old Necrons, but am so confused by the rules and like Canaptic Court and all sorts of detachments. I don't understand them. So I'd like to get this new army done and have something that is more current and easier for people to explain exactly what's going on, because I actually have the current models for the army, which is the problem I have with my Necrons, is they're all 5th edition minis and all the rules have changed since I played back then, so I don't know what I'm doing. And I keep saying it over and over again. I'm going to get my old Necrons out. I'm going to take pictures of them. And I'm going to post them on like Instagram and TikTok and all that. So folks can see like the first minis I ever painted. They're near my desk, but they're in my troop transport. And they're kind of a pain to get to. So I don't bust them out on stream. Necrons are just build Void Dragon and GG. I've gotten a lot of recommendations. Oh, you should just go get the Silent King. I was like, okay, you gonna buy that mini for me? It's $170. But the Void Dragon, the Silent King, they are like really cool looking minis. But man, those things are pricey. And it's like $170 for one. It's $170 for a single model, when I can spend, $150 on a combat patrol and get 16 models. I'm not saying they're not pretty, but they're expensive. You're thinking about starting with Fenris since the Space Wolves are your favorite? They just got a new model refresh. And so I'd say go for it. They're going to be a hot seller for a while, since they just got a bunch of new minis. So 100%, if you want to do a Space Wolves army, go for it. Now is the time. Get all the brand new cool stuff, and watch YouTube videos, watch streamers, ask for advice and input, join Discords, get feedback for what you're doing. There are tons and tons of resources out there on how to paint minis, and so many people that are just, literally, sitting behind a desk on camera waiting for somebody to ask them, well, how do you think I should do this? Or how do you paint that? And I don't want to say all of them, but pretty much all of them are going to be super nice and super helpful, and can't wait to help somebody out to get them into the hobby. I've met so many neat, nice people on TikTok, uh, since, jumping back into this hobby. And everybody wants to help everybody else get back into it. Because, of course, the more people that are doing the hobby, the easier it is to, find a new group to play with, or, make new friends. And sometimes it involves getting out of your comfort zone and driving to the next town over, an hour or more away, just to unbox a bunch of little pieces of painted plastic and spend the next 4 hours figuring out how to play a game with them. It's worth it. It's so much fun, and you meet so many neat, new, and interesting people. Yeah, because I'm just gonna say, if you have a chance to get into the hobby and meet the people that play the game, I'd say do it. All right. And at some point this weekend, I need to do some brush maintenance, because these things are getting a little frazzled and I don't have to buy new brushes yet. Even though I've got a whole pile of them in the next room that I haven't used. All right, so my brain needs to reset and think about what I'm doing next. That is the wrong color. All right, we're going to do a second round of edge highlighting, because if you look at these, you can see like a little bit of grayish blue around the edges. We're just going to do a second round of edge highlighting with this Dawn Stone, which is just kind of a more standard gray color. And it's going to bring those edges out a little bit more. We're going to do a finer tipped brush, a little bit finer line on that. So because you still want to see the last edge highlight you did, and you don't have to do this on your minis. I'm just going way overboard on painting these things, because I'm a big nerd and I want cool looking minis, because I'm a dork. But get some of this out onto our wet palette, and then we're going to grab some water and thin that out. Always thin your paints. They go on much nicer, look much cleaner if you thin your paints. So take some of the excess paint out of the brush, reload it, and so it's like you can kind of see that grayish blue on that edge right there. I just kind of bring it up, brighten it up a little bit, and you can still see a little bit of the blue because we did that line slightly thicker, and we're just gonna work our way all around the edges of the model again with a very crisp, thin line. And try and remember to dip our brush into the right color of paint as we do this. Because I've done that a couple of times. I'll be going to refill my brush, and I'll dip into the last color that I was using, not the current color. Like, now I gotta rinse my brush out real good to get back to the color that I intended to be painting. squish that back down on there so it's a little bit more stable. I just had to get that back edge of the armor. But yeah, this is one of those hobbies that it's a lot of fun to do, and when you finally get to look at the finished project of all your hard work going into it, that's what makes it all worth it. And then, of course, you know, being able to share that with your friends, be like, yeah, look at this mini that, you know, is 3 inches tall that I spent 47 hours painting. You don't really have to spend that much time painting them if you don't want to. But if you go to a ridiculous level of detail, I mean, that is not out of the question for one of these things. I think just the assembly on this dreadnought alone was 9 hours. And I have no idea what my hour count is into painting this thing yet, because I haven't figured out how many streams I've done so far. And as you can see from my previous videos, I have only done the legs. I've not done anything else on this model except for base coated the sarcophagus section a little bit. I mean, it's not even done yet. Every once in a while, when you're using a thinner, finer brush, re-wet it, because your paint will start to dry in your brush. Kind of give it a good quick little rinse. Otherwise you get these little blobs of paint, your bristles get real stiff, and the paint doesn't flow as well off of the brush. So, like, as I'm doing this, I'm trying to, you know, tell folks, you know, what I do while I'm painting. So, you know, hopefully it helps them out with, you know, their miniature painting journey. Because it is definitely a journey. Because this stuff takes a while. But, as I said before, it is all worth it when you get to see that final result of everything that you did to get this thing painted. So I'm trying to pay attention to the chat. All sorts of people are hopping in right now. They may just be scrolling by, but I see stuff bouncing on my screen. It's like trying to look over the top of these glasses to see what's going on. But welcome in, everybody. Just trying to get a little more work done on this dreadnought. Trying to get the legs completely finished up. So I can move on to the cooler bits of the dreadnought, like the sarcophagus and the arms for the Brutalis dreadnought. I have some ideas that I'm going to experiment. I hope it works out the way I want it to. On the claws when we get to that point. But there it is with the second round of edge highlighting done on it. Just let you see all the edges a lot better, a lot cleaner. And, you know, once I get these glued on, I'll get, you know, updated pictures and throw them on the Discord for folks to see. And if you're watching me on TikTok and you're in full screen mode, my Twitch channel is scrolling across the bottom of the screen. If you go to my Twitch channel, and you don't have to follow me there if you don't want to, but if you're interested in seeing minis that I've painted or minis that my viewers have painted, I've got a Discord link over there. Just on the About Me page at the bottom, the tab that says Discord, you click on the tab and it'll take you to a permanent Discord link where you can join in and share your projects that you're working on, and congratulate other people on minis that they've gotten finished. One of my Twitch viewers added a Pink Sisters of Battle mini that he's working on. He's trying to do a Sailor Moon themed sisters unit, and just shared one of his minis over there if y'all want to go check that out. He's a very good painter. He's done a lot of sisters. He's posted a lot of stuff over there. It's not a very big Discord yet. I just started it a few weeks ago because I finally got around to making it. Because all of this, streaming and Discord and all that kind of stuff, using it in conjunction with streaming is new to me. But I'm figuring it out as I go. And just having a lot of fun doing it the entire time. But if you are so inclined and interested, thank you for the follow, Nordic Thunder, on Twitch. I appreciate it. If you came over from TikTok, I appreciate it even more. Definitely appreciate all the new follows on Twitch. I know, like, viewership over on Twitch is sort of dwindled. It's like I was getting all excited, I finally got my 50 followers on Twitch. I think I'm up to about 60 now on Twitch. Like, oh, I'm almost there. I can almost do the affiliate program. And then nobody watches over there anymore. Everybody's over here on TikTok. But I still go live everywhere. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitch. I'm on YouTube. Just in case anything happens to any one of these platforms, one of them goes away, one of them changes the rules and decides, oh no, you can't have that content on there anymore. I have backups, I have options. So I'm also on Instagram. I use the same username everywhere. So Dune_Gunner. Everywhere that social media happens, except for Facebook. I don't have a Facebook page because I don't really see the point in Facebook, and all anybody wants to do on Facebook is have, stupid real world, people are doing bad things, and I just have better things to do with my time than look at all that. So I stick to the fun platforms: Twitch, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram. And just try and meet people and share my minis and have fun and relax and chit chat and try to convert people into followers of the God Emperor, and they should definitely look to Rogel Dorn as their Primarch. That Bobby Gurley man's kind of a wuss with his little rule book and spreadsheets. that is one of the things that I do really like about the Warhammer community is like everybody with their faction of preference likes to smack talk every other faction. What's the Discord again? On the About page on Twitch, there is a tab that says Discord. That tab is actually a link that goes straight to the Discord. So all you have to do is, mouse over that tab and click on it. You can have my makeup sponges if you can find them. I already told people that you don't use a lot of makeup, and so you don't have any sponges for me to steal. I would have to go buy my own. Did I get everything on this? There's like a little spot underneath that chain. It's like the top of an armor panel. And all of a sudden I have 5 viewers on Twitch. Thank you for coming over and watching on Twitch, everybody that just came in. I said on the About page on Twitch, at the bottom there's like a little banner that says Discord on it. If you click where it says Discord, it is a permanent link to my Discord channel or server or whatever the heck it's called. And you can just jump in over there and see projects that different people are working on, share your projects that you're working on, comment, discuss, ask for advice if you want to know how somebody painted a certain mini, or and there are other pages like any type of art work in progress. There's an other projects tab. Just share it. If you're making music with AI or doing drawings or anything like that, feel free, hop in, share your passion with everybody else. It's always cool to see what kind of projects other people are working on. I had somebody in. I'll have to go look at his name real quick. He was in Discord. Let's see. That was not the thing I meant to take. General. Oh, darn it. No. To disconnect from that. Anyway, another viewer was doing like little Star Wars animated series edits. I'm sorry, I can't remember your name right now. But he was in here watching, getting a little frustrated with his content not doing very well. It's like, dude, it takes time and patience, and eventually you'll get lucky. Somebody will see your stuff, or you'll come across somebody who if you ask for advice, they're more than happy to say, hey, have you tried this, or just keep working on it a little bit longer. And like, he shared some neat stuff over on the Discord of little little video editing projects he's working on, and pretty cool stuff. And so hopefully he sticks with that and gets whatever advice he needs from whoever has the best ability to help him out. But we're all I'll try and encourage people to share their passion and have fun doing it. Just doing a little bit of edge highlighting and some weathering on this this book that the Dreadnought is carrying on his side. Touch of paint here, touch of paint there. Trying to do some little scratches and lines here and there. Just add some character to it. And then we're doing pretty good on our little book there. And for some finishing touches, gotta rinse brushes and swap out again. Back to my metallic paintbrush. The paintbrush I use for metallics. Try not to mix up your paintbrushes. Metallics are, because they actually have little metal fragments in them, tear up your brushes fairly quickly. So try and keep your brushes separate depending on what you're painting with. Like I have like my brush that I do all my washes, you can see the paint's gotten all the way down in the bristles just because washes and contrast paints get sucked into the brush real far. So have your designated brush from that. Dry brushing is hard on brushes because you're just putting like a little bit of paint on them and you're just kind of mashing it into stuff. So those get tore up, so use kind of a fluffy brush for that. And then one for acrylics, one for metallics. And that should serve you well for your painting and help your brushes last a little longer. Okay, so we need a little Sycorax bronze just to kind of brighten up this emblem in the middle of the book, get a little extra shine out of it. And this goes on this leg of the Dreadnought. So we're going to try and do, because the book's going to be sitting like this, so we're going to try and do some quick little highlights like right at the top edges of some of this. So right here at the top. Just brighten this up just a little bit. I think this one sits like this a little bit. So there. We're just trying to bring a little bit more brightness onto the metallic part of the book. Doesn't take a whole lot of paint. Let's help bring that out a little bit. And then we have all sorts of little bright silver dots to do along with a little bit on the edges of the little book that the little cage that the book is in. So we're gonna grab our Stormhost Silver real quick. And because I use, so little of like these couple metallics, I always go straight out of the paint pot. Most of the time, you'd want to put it in a separate dish and thin it out a little bit. But we're just, kind of hitting an edge here, hitting an edge there. You're not painting a whole lot with it. So you don't need to do like you do with your regular colors and get them extra thinned out to go on smoothly, because you're just tapping those spots here and there. And you'd be surprised, like, just how much, like, the tiniest little swish of paint here and scrape of paint there, how much more detail it adds to a model. And it's just, these itty bitty, little splotches of paint. Then we'll start doing all our little metal studs. I'm starting to sound a little stuffed up. I apologize. It's because I'm tired and it's late. And I probably should have gone to bed like 2 or 3 hours ago. But I wanted to finish painting these armor pieces so I can get them glued onto the legs and be finished with the legs completely. Because that is the goal of tonight's stream. Just very carefully, like every little raised bump around the book, on the armor plates, just getting this little blob of Stormhost Silver on them. Let's see. We got that one done. Set that over to dry a little bit. And it does not take long at all for this paint to dry. And we're using, such a teeny tiny amount, just doing a little dot, little dot, little dot. And I know I missed a couple on these pieces over here. Rinse that off real quick because I'm getting the blob of death at the end of my brush. That frustrates me. You get, especially when using metallics, you get like this dried ball of paint right at the tip of your brush, and then paint doesn't want to come off of your brush the way it's supposed to, and it's super frustrating. Like, I'm just trying to finish painting this thing and I can't get any paint to come off of my brush. There we go. All right, now comes the part of the evening where we are going to hold our breath that we don't get excessive amounts of super glue anywhere and mess anything up. Because super glue will ruin your paint if you go crazy with it. So we're going to be very, very careful with this next step. I'm going to pop off these guards that go over the tops of the hips. To clean little bits of sticky tack off the back of this armor piece. Get it kind of lined up where we want it, so that's how that is going to sit on there. And that is not the glue that I want. I need the super glue because my plastic glue will not do anything. Because all of these pieces are very thoroughly painted. So, get our super glue out with our fancy dancy little brush here. And very carefully around this edge. Thank you, the Mad Zorro, for the follow on TikTok. I appreciate it. I don't normally go live on Fridays or go live this late. So hopefully you can catch me again sometime. But by following me, you will also see all the randomness that I post to TikTok. So even if you don't catch me live, I will still post content for your viewing pleasure. All right. Now that that piece is on, I know that this nub right here is where the piece that wraps around the top of the hip attaches. I'll get that slapped on there. So the right leg is assembled and armored. I'm so happy with how this thing is turning out. I can't wait till I'm done with this thing. Oh, I'm so excited to actually have my own dreadnought. Okay. Let's get the back side of this book plate cleaned off. And because I use sticky tack, you can see the little cruddies it leaves behind. So I need to get all those out of the way, off the Mini, so it glues nicely together. And again, a little bit of super glue on here, so it's enough for it to squish together. Oh, what are you doing? My live went wonky for a second. But trying to get this finished. Oh no! What is going on? TikTok keeps disconnecting. I am so sorry, folks. I don't know what's happening. There we go. I think we're back. I'm sorry, TikTok. Where'd my mouse go? There it is. I think we're back fully, completely. Still shows I have viewers. I don't know what happened there. It just went wonky for a second. And now for the final piece. I have to be very careful waving this super glue brush around. I do not want super glue getting anywhere other than exactly where I intend to put it. Get a nice little bead of super glue on there. Let's not knock over the bottle of super glue. And get that final armor plate popped into place. All right. Oh, that's looking so good. I'm so excited about this. And hopefully that is enough super glue to hold that thing together and nothing will ever pop off. Oh, it's so nerve-wracking putting these things together. Sometimes. But there we are. A completed set of dreadnought legs. I say completed set. There's one final bit of thing to do here, and I need my super skinny fancy brush again. And we're going to get a little bit of Administratum Gray. We're going to kind of look at the mini. Pull some of this out. And very sparingly. Like, you don't want a whole lot of this. I'm going to do a final edge highlight. Down just on the tops, the very highest tippy top points of like where the armor is going straight up. A little bit here, a little bit there. Ooh, be very careful. Definitely don't want to get excessive now. We're just trying to brighten up a little bit on those top edges, you know, possibly where things would be exposed to the most light. So they'd be like slightly brighter. But it's hit and miss where you do it. Even some of this stuff I'm doing over here would be under the, front of the chassis on the sarcophagus. But just a couple of spots here and there. I said right where you'd be catching the most light. I think that's pretty well got it. Alright, after who knows how many hours of painting at this point. I know we did about 2 tonight. But there we are. One completed set of Black Templar Dreadnought legs. And I'm sorry if you're watching vertical. I was way off center of my viewing area. But I'm gonna get some fancy pictures taken of this. After the stream, I will make a quick little TikTok video of the progress that we made tonight, and I will post that to all the different social media platforms. We'll be sharing it on Instagram and YouTube Shorts and TikTok. So if you want to follow me over on any of those platforms, all the links for those are on Twitch. Of course, the entire VOD is on Twitch, and tonight's stream is also saved onto YouTube, so you can go check it out there if you'd like. But hey, thank you everybody for coming by tonight. I definitely appreciate it. I'm gonna wrap things up, get some stuff cleaned up, and get some sleep. It has been a very long day today. Thank you so much for coming in. I enjoyed every minute of seeing you guys and chatting with you. Everybody have a good night. We'll be back Monday night for our Dungeons and Dragons session, and then hopefully Tuesday and Thursday we'll be working on the Dreadnought again. So we'll see y'all next week. Thanks for watching.